I get a lot of questions about how I set up my keybinds and how I can use the 6 and 0 and whatever skills to the right side of my bar. How can I use them? Because I have one hand on my mouse and one hand on my keyboard. How can I reach the 0 to trigger my elite skill? That's a very common question that I get from especially new players, but also veterans. Today I want to clear up this confusion and tell you how my keybinds are and especially how I use them in conjunction with the mouse. So let's start with a very basic one. Why is my mouse highlighted? So in game there is actually a feature to highlight the mouse as well, but I think this is way easier. It's called the Blish HUD and the mouse UI. It's really important that you see your mouse in combat. So I think this is really big and I can easily see it even when I press both my keys on the mouse. I still see it. It's really important because otherwise it will go away. And that's you can also achieve with YOLO mouse. It's a really nice add-on as well, but I use the Blish HUD because we will get to in a second, but I have other features in there that I also use. You can also achieve that with in-game features, cursor contrast here, to make it low. Then you see a slight brightness increase around the cursor, or you can go for high and you even get a circle around it, but I feel like it's not centered around the clicking thing, so I don't like it that much. I just like the YOLO mouse or Blish HUD, where it's a big circle and in the middle of the circle is the target of my click. So that's the first thing. The next thing I want to talk about is the keybinds in general. I have a lot of keybinds that are not the default ones. So I really like to use W for walking and move backward is S. That is true. But I don't have keys bound to turn left and turn right because I don't use it. I use strafe left and strafe right. This is really important to understand that Q and E, I'm using it right now, is just to walk left or right. If I at the same time press W or hold both my mouse keys, I can walk diagonal. It's really important to understand, especially for new players, that this is one of the best things that you can do, walking like this. And don't turn and then walk, and turn and then walk. You should always walk around like diagonal as well. Next thing, dodge is really important to have on a keybind. Don't use double tap to dodge. Use, for example, V. And that makes it easy, just one button press and you dodge. If you want to know more about all the keybinds that are really important for new players, be sure to check out the video in the top right hand corner about all the settings that are really important. Here I just talk about the keybinds. Next thing that is also really important is of course auto run. I really like it just to have something bound to it. I use my numlock because I don't really use it most of the time, and that allows me to easily auto run when I want to check something out or just look at my second monitor. And then about face, I have bound to a really weird key. We get to that in a second why. We also have weapon swap. It's really important. All the others is actually the same. Then we have some really weird keybinds to my utilities as well as the profession mechanic 5 and 6 are also on really weird skills, and 7. And the special action key is also on a weird skill. We will get to this in a second, but in the end it does not matter. It's just keys that I don't use at all. Keybinds that I would not use in any other way. The same goes for alert target and call target. Both of them actually are on skills that I don't really use. This on keybinds that I don't really use. That's really important to understand that I just have those keybinds, but I don't really press them. I will explain that in a second. So alert target, call target, take target, all of them are really important. And then I have toggle snap ground target to current target with caps lock, so that I can sometimes use that when I need it. Now before I get to my mouse, I will also talk quickly about the really good thing about Blish HUD is the mount wheel. So I can now here, by pressing just one button, for me it's C, I will get access to this wheel, and while I press it, I see all my mounts that I can equip, and I have all the mounts assigned to a special key. So you will see here in the mount thing, two really weird things. Steuerung, Control, Alt and 1, and just increasing it, and also the other mounts with another combination. And that's really weird, you would never press that. but I assigned those buttons to the wheel, and I just press the C button to trigger this UI, the wheel, and the push hut, and then I can go to the one direction of with my cursor, and then this mount will pop up. It's really important to understand that this is really easy. I just have one button for all the mounts. It's really good. And how can I do that? Using the push hut UI, especially the mount one. This one. You see here, now I have the radial thing, and I have the keybinds for my mounts, and now I can easily use it. You can also assign other stuffs than mount, but that's just what I use. Now to my mouse setup. Sorry, the Logitech thing here is in German, but in the end it's really easy to understand. You can see this is my mouse. I have the G600 Logitech mouse. I can really recommend it. It's quite cheap. It's an MMO mouse, and it allows me to use all the skills that I need to use just by using my mouse. So I don't have to use some weird keybinds on my keyboard that I would use otherwise to get the 0, 6 and whatever going. It's really easy. So I assigned to my upper part, I assigned the first utility skill, the second and the third, because they are the most important one. And my healing skill is a row below on my first. So I'll activate all of them with my mouse, and I activate all of them with my thumb. So it's really important for me that I can activate all of them. Of course, you have to get used to it at first because it's a lot of buttons, but after some practicing, you see the increase of speed, how easily you can access it, and without any problems. Then I have my lead skill here in the middle, and then now we come to the different, like I said before, really weird assignments. So here I have assigned this button, and here I have this weird button assigned as well. And both of them are used in conjunction with the in-game settings. So if I now show you my in-game settings, I have here special action key assigned, and I have take target assigned. Those two are assigned to my last mouse button. Yeah. So this is really important to understand that I use special action key here in the upper part, and then the take target on the lowest middle one, in the last one. Then I have here X assigned. That's important. X is for me looking back. So if I run, I can look back with X and just press this mouse button. That can be really helpful as well. And then that's it for the most part. The other ones I don't really use. I just use F5 because sometimes it's on my keyboard it's quite hard to reach the F5 button for my hand. So I have this in the middle here, F5 assigned as well. So I can now access all my key skills just by using my mouse and my really close keybinds to my hand. If you don't have or don't want to get a MMO mouse, that's totally fine. You then have to use your keybinds that are close to your W, S, Q, and E. So for example, A, D, maybe Y, maybe X, and some alterations of them with Control or Alt. All of those make sense. Just make them easy to you to assign, that you easily get them without making some weird movements with your mouse, because that takes time and it gets way harder to use. I hope you find this quick guide useful. If you want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.